All right, and I believe we are on the internet, gentlemen. I'm joined by Matthew Binns and Paul Neat. How we doing, gents?
Not too bad. Less technical difficulties this week so
Yeah,
far.
right? Yeah. We decided to start at 4, and here we are at 4. Although,
I can't believe it.
oh, okay,
We're
there's
actually
Paul.
on time.
I was going to say I was a little worried that we lost Paul for a second there, but
No,
there
no,
he
I'm
is.
here.
Um, yeah, so yesterday afternoon, it was gorgeous, and hopefully a lot of people were outside. But if you weren't outside, we did stream the 2010 second leg of the K-League final, a playoff final, I'll point out, which I really wish that we still had.
I don't. The very first pod that we did, and I was in favor of that system, but I've since changed my mind. I don't like it.
Okay, you don't want no more no more playoffs for Paul then. Okay, that's fine. But did you
Oh,
see
I
how
mean,
did you see how full the stadium was and how much people were loving it?
I don't know whether that was just because it was a playoff more than it was in, let's say, the
Oh,
heyday
don't mind me, Paul. I'm
of
just tasting
K-League.
sound. Uh-huh.
I don't know. If
Yeah,
it
I
was to
mean,
happen now, I'm not sure it'll be the same effect.
well, you look at FA Cup finals in recent years. The Super Match was quite a big final, but
I can't
yeah,
remember the
no, I don't
attendance
know.
of
I
that one.
just don't like playoffs. I'm going to be honest. It's still just
Well,
a very foreign concept to
I
me.
think they're the
I
business, and I think that we could have some bums and seats if we still had them.
Mhm. Well, anyway, we've got Clint Jones just joining us on YouTube
Oh, hi,
today.
Clint.
Hi, Clint.
On YouTube.
All right,
Nice.
so we've got a few people tuned in. So technical difficulties aside, the K-League cat is on the table. He is awake this week, so I feel like he's gonna make an appearance. But anyway, are you guys ready to get this thing going?
Yes.
Yes,
I believe
let's
I
give
am.
it a go.
All right. Ooh, this
Right,
is
who's
just
singing the song this week?
looking over my notes. They are so good. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hello, annyeonghaseyo. Ryan Walters in the K-League United bunker, along with the K-League cat. He's not going to say anything, but I'm here also virtually with Paul Neat
Hello.
and Matthew Binns.
Hello.
Gentlemen, greetings, greetings. This is our second week in a row doing this bunker style, if you will, like true bunker style, because we are each in our own homes practicing social distancing for a little bit longer because we are starting to look a little bit better here in Korea. Matthew, today they were single digits. I don't know if you caught
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I saw that 8 in today, and again, I think a majority of them as well were imported, as they classed it, which just means caught at the airport.
Yes.
But yeah, we're currently very close to the 14-day period of below 40 that the K League had. Well, it'd been reported in newspapers that the K League were going to consider restarting the league if there'd been 14 days of consistently below 40 in the case numbers. So, yeah, we might have football back very soon, but nothing announced as of yet.
Yeah,
I've
nothing
just
official.
sorry, somebody just sent me a link. Actually, a friend of mine, who said that the Prime Minister, Chung Se-gyun, has said that it is possible that sports events will start behind closed doors.
I mean, hey,
So,
however they start, I'm all for it right now.
right.
Closed doors,
So
I
yeah,
mean, media still gets to go to those, I think. So we'd be okay.
true.
I hope.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, we are here talking about we're talking about sport as always, but today we're gonna have a little bit of fun because after 5 years of saying how it should be done, today we are going to go ahead and do it ourselves. We are going to build a K-League team. At long last, we are going to put ourselves out there, football manager style for you gents. I never really got into football manager. Back in the day when FIFA had like editable content, this was my jam, making a team and making it big. So we're going to be doing all of the things today. We have kept these secret from each other. Paul is wearing his Goyang Zycro kit, so I'm hoping that there's like a resurrection of Goyang Zycro coming along, Paul.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. All right.
Maybe.
So we've kept these secret. We will have some stuff. We'll have some visual aids out on social media soon to help with these things, but we will be doing this in audio format today, describing everything about these clubs that we have built and that I think we may have all just spent a little bit too much time on. My wife was laughing at me of how nerdy and ridiculous this project is. So we're gonna have a team name. We're gonna have a badge. Mascots. Super excited about the mascots. We have a stadium plan. We have a marketing plan. We have a club philosophy. We have a managerial hire, ideal signings, marquee signings. We have all of these things lined up today, and each of us has our own club. And we're not doing this just for fun, because we could, and it is fun, but we're also doing this because we want to compete against each other, and we're going to see which one of these clubs wins. Matthew, you've been very confident this week about this.
I've just been putting up a good front, really, because I'm actually just designing the badge and shirt right now with this pen.
Okay. All right.
I may have missed a few key steps. I'm just the ideas man. I'm not coming up with any of the detailed concepts here. So.
Well, Paul, I've just binged your former EPL club, Sunderland. I know you support Sunderland, and I've just binged Sunderland Till I Die. So I've got all sorts of really good and some really bad ideas in there from watching that on Netflix. Have you watched that yet?
Oh, the reason why I signed up to Netflix in the first place when the first series of that came out was for that very reason. So I was supposed to just do the free trial for a month and then cancel it because I'm cheap and I'm northern. But I didn't, and then I've kept on subscribing to Netflix, and then I watched the new series all in the space of one night, all 6 of them or 7 of them.
I may have been up until 2 a.m. last night finishing the second series. It's really good, and man, some of the folks in there are just terrible people that I would not have involved in my club, which is what we get to talk about today. And we're doing all of this, again, because we want to compete against each other. So we're going to have a vote. So after this podcast, each of us is going to put out a little bit more details. We'll have a club crest. We'll have colors, kits, all that kind of stuff. We're going to put that out onto social media, and then we're going to have you fine folks vote for which team is the winner. And the winner is going to be imported into Football Manager 20. And because I finally bit the bullet and got a copy of it, I bought PES 20, and we're going to create a custom team on there, and we're going to put them in, and we're going to see how they do in these 2 virtual realities. And yeah, there can only be one. It's like Highlander.
Before we continue, I just want to say on the stream, my face is frozen in the most smuggest way possible.
I'm just looking at it now. Excellent.
Yeah.
On brand.
I'm not holding that pose just for the people watching. Oh, I'm back now.
Okay, there you are. You're back now. Yeah. It's just on brand posing for bins there is all that is. All right. So we didn't decide how we're going to go first yet. So do we want to play rock, paper, scissors here?
We may as well. We've got it. Everybody can watch. So yeah.
Okay, so those of you watching on social, you'll be able to watch. We'll say rock, paper, scissors, and I'll say for the audio format, go ahead and say if you're throwing rock, paper, or scissors as well. Okay.
Can't do 2 things at once. Here we go.
And this is very important. Is it rock, paper, scissors, like you show what you're showing, or is it rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
I would say rock, paper, and then as you're going to say scissor, then you reveal your weapon.
You come down with it. Okay. All right. You ready?
I think so.
Bins, call us off.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Not even it. Paul's won.
Yes.
Wait.
Why?
Didn't you have paper bins?
No, I had scissors.
Oh, you had scissors.
We didn't actually shout. This is
great
radio. This is great radio.
Fantastic radio.
Okay, so Paul's going to go first. Matt, do you want to do this one more time to see which one of us is going to go second?
Yeah, go on then. One more time.
All right.
Paul, count us in.
All right. Rock, scissors, paper.
Paper.
Rock. Which, even though Ryan came in saying paper before I'd even announced mine, I still said rock.
That's you're just an honest man, and those values are going to carry over into whatever club it is that you have. All right, Paul, you sir,
yes.
You have. I'm going to put you on the clock here. I've got a clock off camera, and I'm going to start a stopwatch. You have 5 minutes for your initial proposal. So the initial proposal for this will be the name. So the name of the team, the city, finances. What else do we have with this one? The colors, the badge, the mascot, all of that is included in this. So Paul's going to go first We each have 5 minutes. That's what this first segment's going to be, is the initial proposal. So you've got the city government, you got the board there. Everybody's ready to listen. Paul, you're on the clock starting now.
Okay, Cookminbank FC, Elam Puma, Goyang High, Goyang Zycro, Goyang Citizen. Matthew, what does that tell you about football teams in Goyang?
There's too many of them.
That's one way of looking at it. But what I would say is people like them, let's make some more of them. So, the team name is Goyang North End.
Okay.
Why North End? Well, the club is situated north of something that has a mouth but does not speak, has a bed but does not sleep. What is it?
Nicholas Linders.
Yes. No. I think that might be the wrong answer sheet. But anyway, riddles aside, I am probably the most northern person at KLU, so I went for the most northern K-League ready stadium I could find, and that was Goyang Stadium. The name is something traditional but unique. There's no mythical creatures in there like dragons, for instance.
Hey.
The nickname of the club is the Rams because Yang, the second part of Goyang, of course, can mean sheep in Korean. And therefore, the mascot will lend itself well to John Rambo. Or just John for short.
Uh-huh.
John is the mascot. So, what colours have been used in Korea before? Well, mostly the wrong ones. We're going to go and wear white. Football was invented in England, and the first team to win the Football League was Preston North End, and they wore white. Tottenham actually stole white from Preston North End.
Yeah.
Well, now so are Goyang North End, and the name as well. And also, Korean people were referred to as Baekwi Minjok, which means the people in white, a long time ago. So that's also one of this team's nicknames. The badge will have a sheep on it because the best badges have sheep on them. The wonderful people of Goyang, all 1 million of them, are going to design, they're going to put forward their suggestions for designs. I haven't offered my design because I am terrible at design. So I'm hoping that people in Goyang, like I say, all the million of them will be able to do that. I'll call it the 1 in a million chance. So, how can an atmosphere be built? Well, we're going to have these kind of parties that go beyond fun and actually get a little bit nasty. So, how am I going to do that? From the makers of 4 for Man One, behold, 8 for Man One. Matchday Man Ones, bring your Matchday Man Ones at the ready, and for season ticket holders, you can get 8 beers for just 10,000 won. So, next up. Marketing. Why can't marketing be an arm of sales? That's my question.
Wait, marketing's in a little bit. Marketing's in a little bit. You're ahead of the game here.
I'm just spitballing. So basically, the thing is, build it and they will come. Is that a terrible idea? It can't be. It's in a film. They wouldn't put a terrible idea in a film. They get sued. But yeah, that's basically my initial proposal. I think. Do I need to go through my marquee signings here, or was that later?
Hold that back for later.
Hold that back for later.
Right, okay. All right, so there we go.
Okay.
Goyang North End.
Goyang North End.
A lot of references in there to a certain TV show.
I may have spent most of the time trying to shoehorn peep show quotes in, but there we go.
Okay, well done. I'm impressed. I'm in. I like it.
Really? Wow.
I would have no trouble losing to it, but I'm very confident in my proposal here, which I'm up next. So,
okay.
Paul, you had so many things in there that I think you wowed the board so quickly that they were like, hang on, we're in. Like, that didn't even take the 5 minutes. Didn't even need it.
Need it.
I do love that. I love that you're wearing the Goyang kit today for this as well. All right. So I'm going to put myself on the clock starting right now. All right. 5 minutes to tell you gentlemen about a team named Sokcho City. That's right. According to K-League rules, you do have to have the team name in there, and we're a little bit more of a regional team, but we're going to base ourselves in Sokcho because we're there because of the lovely seaside air. There are only about 84,000 people there, but We only need about an eighth of them to fill up that lovely stadium that we're going to build, but more on that in a little bit. This is the gem of the Northeast, and it is a tourist hub here in Korea. Buses leave from Dongseol Terminal every 30 minutes, and it takes just a little over 2 hours. It's very pleasant, and you could get a little pregame ready on your way over there if that's your thing. There is also a train station, a KTX station nearby, and this is a fun one. It serves as a terminal ferry for Russian ferries coming in for the weekends. So, other than that, there's also some fantastic food on offer in Sokcho. Tons of fresh seafood like hue, which is raw fish, ojingo sundae, which is like a little cuttlefish treat, and of course there's lots of tofu for those folks that like that. But more than that, it is also the nearest city for Soraksan, one of the biggest tourist attractions and a true gem here in Korea. So, finances, how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to bring City Football Group to Korea at long last, which means Matthew Binns is with me. So, the fine people of Sokcho, they don't need to foot the bill for this. They just need to show up and enjoy. And we need City Football's money because we're going to build an amazing new stadium. So, more than that, we're bringing in CFG because they've got the global know-how of how to run a team, and then we can also combine with our new sister club, Gangneung City FC. That's right, we're going to partner up with the K3 club and ensure that there are top-notch facilities for both K2 and K3. Speaking of sister clubs, bringing in City Football Group also means that we will be partners with Man City, New York City FC, Yokohama F. Marinos, Melbourne City, and many, many more throughout the world, which creates very easy loans and partner deals for our youth talent, which is going to be one of our key tenets. But again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Colors. Well, we got to have the city blue, the baby blue, and we're going to have some hot pink in there because nobody wears pink, and you got to be super bold to wear a Sokcho City kit. They're going to be lovely. We're going to have pink, and the badge is going to be honoring the emblem of Sokcho, which is already kind of in like a little crosshatch. It has Soraksan top left, some sunshine top right, ocean waves bottom right, and it's got a fish in the bottom left. But we're going to get rid of that fish in the bottom left, and we're going to replace it with an ojingo, which, for those that aren't in Korea, it's a cuttlefish, right? Because that plays into what our mascot is going to be. An 8-foot-tall, 10-legged, happy fun time known as Ojing Goal. That's right. It's going to have 8 flags that it carries out along with it as it runs, leading the players out of the tunnel. Ojing Goal is going to be a mascot unlike any other seen in Korean football to this point, and will carry the CFG torch into Korean shores, get that foreign investment that we need, and have it based in a lovely city with a seaside stadium, but more on that in a little bit. But gentlemen, that is your little taster. That's your little appetizer of Sokcho City, a team that I wanted to name Sokcho 1963, but for branding purposes, City insisted that it be called Sokcho City.
I like it. I can smell the sea air already.
Right? Nice little weekend trip.
Yeah, it's a lovely city, Sokcho. But
lovely.
I'm quite upset that you've used my own team against me, and
that may have been part of the plan.
Psychologically speaking, I'm kind of not really wanting to go ahead with mine right now. But okay.
Those watching on the stream will notice that I do have a lovely baby blue Daegu scarf, and I'm wearing my Yokohama F. Marinos kit today. So just making sure that all the branding's already there.
Subliminal messaging. I like that.
That's right. All right, Binns. No pressure. You just have Goyang North End and Sokcho City to follow up. I'm putting you on the clock in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so 10 days ago, I set out to find a Korean city lacking in football identity. And yes, Ryan, while I did stop by Gwangyang, I kept going.
Okay.
And just north of Daejeon, I found it, Sejong City. Sejong Smart City, as it's sometimes known, was founded in 2007, aimed to decongest Seoul and move investment to the centre of the country, along with a number of government ministries. And as listeners may know, if it's about taking things from Seoul, then I'm all in. Some say it's the Milton Keynes of Korea, minus the roundabouts, and that it is a soulless husk of a city, inorganic in nature and lacks history despite shamelessly sporting the name of Korea's greatest king. How could football possibly thrive in such a heartless place? Who would be deemed lacking in such morality to possibly champion such an unloved venture? Well, hello there. I'm Matthew Binns. Pleased to meet you. With a population nearing 300,000, Sejong is one of Korea's up-and-coming cities, boasting the luxuries of Seoul at a fraction of the cost. It boasts state-of-the-art condos, ample green space, and sustainable city tech such as solar power buildings and electric car charging stations. There's a reason why it is a smart city after all. Furthermore, as we all know, smart is the new sexy, and Sejong City is certainly that. In fact, Sejong is so sexy that it has an above-average birth rate for South Korea, which says one thing to me: family-friendly football club. So, what are we talking? Conglomerate or city-owned? Well, with the head offices of many government ministries, including that for culture, sports and tourism, it'd certainly be a shame if a company had to come in and set this thing up. In fact, maybe some of these ministers would like a box or two even when the new football-specific ground, the Ministry of Football, is open. Nothing big, mind you. It's just going to be a nice little 10,000-seater to generate some atmosphere and demand. We'll keep it green as well, shall we? We're going to have solar panels on the roof to keep in line with the city's eco-friendly ethos. You can almost hear the conversation now. I'm not going to do any accents. Hey, did you see that game at the Ministry of Football last weekend? That's Liverpudlian accent there. Nah, I didn't. It was sold out. Got tickets to the next home game, though. Ah, that's smart. There you go. See, using the smart.
That is a long way around the block, buddy.
And then that's where we come to the name, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it simple, shall we? We're not dragons or tigers or banks or automobiles. We are a city and demand to be treated as such. We are Sejong Citizen FC. We're citizens and we're not owned by a bank. Furthermore, we don't need history. We'll make it. However, we are going to steal a little bit of history when it comes to the colours and identity. We are working within a colour scheme of the three traditional royal colours of Korea. We're going to be using some red, some blue and some yellow. Yellow is clearly something for the number font and sponsors. So let's keep to the traditional Barcelona/Suwon FC colour scheme of red and blue. But we'll make ours hoops. We'll be a little bit different. The mascots, well, we have three. A family, to go with our family-themed, family-friendly ethos. We have Kyoki, Kyoka, and Jürgen Kyok. And for those who are wondering what Kyok is the Hangul character, sometimes pronounced as K or K sometimes. It looks a little bit like that for our viewers at home. There, you can see that.
Beautiful.
There's going to be three of them. So yeah, in Korea, you know, just for our international listeners, they often use this character to indicate laughter in messenger apps. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Sejong Citizen is a family club that aims to bring smiles to the stands, ideally in the form of humiliating opponents, but also in a self-aware tragicomedy sense as well. We don't need to take ourselves seriously and bow down to our conglomerate or overlords like City Football Group, after all. Also, by incorporating the great King Sejong's invention of the Korean written language Hangul into the fabric of our club, we're also encouraging literacy and education in our young and impressionable fan base. Only heartless souls like Ryan and Paul would vote for literacy, after all. Finally, so I say to the residents of and the commuters to Sejong City, and to the people listening to this K-League United podcast, let Sejong City no longer be starved of football in the name of snobbery. Let's make this city into something to be feared across Asia. And to my rival bidders in Ryan Walters and Paul Neat, let me say to you, on behalf of the great King Sejong himself, you come at the king, you best not miss.
Wasn't that 5 minutes?
It was 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I was very ready to cut you off on that, by the way. I was very ready. That is a very thorough bid that touched on some marketing aspects and other things that, as per the rules that you, Matthew Binns, laid out, I saved for another segment. So,
they're coming back in. They're coming back in later.
Two things I didn't know here. I didn't know the claws were out this early. And also, speaking of claws, what's up with the dragon hate? Why y'all got to hate on dragons? Powerful mythical
dragons
creatures.
Aren't real. Football is.
Not. Neither is true in Gwangyang. Anyway, that is our initial pitch. So that is the first meeting that we have with you, our new board of directors, I guess, because we're hoping that you'll invest in our clubs. And we're going to have a vote for this online. But up next, we're going to be talking about breaking ground, because each of these clubs has to have a stadium of their own. And, well, let's just say that I pity you, gentlemen, in this one. But we're going to do all that after a quick break. Whew, Bins. I got to cough real
Yeah.
quick, by the way.
Yeah, I did put a bit too. I did go into the marketing a tad, but
Came in strong on that one. I like it. I like it. Paul, you're still there, right? Your video's frozen?
I'm still here, yeah.
All right, all
I'm
right.
just
Good,
looking at
good.
the Facebook comments.
Okay, anything coming in yet?
Tom Orrick is watching, and he reminds, obviously, as you know, Tom Orrick is part of Goyang Citizen,
That's right.
the team that I'm hoping to rival in the same city. So he reminds everybody that their season begins on the 9th of May against Seoul Jungang.
Oh, there's a
That's
start
good.
date.
Apparently, that's one for the diary.
Okay.
We've got who else have we got? One Ben has just said hello. Clint is obviously watching, and so was our very own Peter Hampshire and Dan Croydon.
Oh, all right.
So there we go.
I was originally going to call my club. It was originally going to be called Gimjay Rovers, and I'm now really annoyed that I know they're both watching.
You can't have all of them. You can't have all of them. All right. Sorry. The cat's on the table, and he is making my allergies go nuts. Anyway, we ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome back to the K-League United podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Walters, joined by Matthew Binns.
Hello.
And Paul Neat.
Hello there.
And this week we are outlining our own clubs, and I thought this would be good. I thought this would be good fun and nice and competitive, and then my team was insulted not once but twice in the first segment. So I'm happy that this segment's happening. I'm happy that we're into the stadium segment because this is where Sokcho City is going to shine. But I think the order worked well for the first one. So Paul, do you want to go first on this one again?
Can do. It'll be very short because I've already got a stadium.
Oh,
it's
well,
perfect.
there you go. Well, then in that case, why don't you explain to our listeners some of the ins and outs of a stadium here in Korea and in K-League?
Well, some issues with the stadiums that have running tracks will, of course, affect the visibility and the match day experience. So, which is something that I have taken into consideration with Goyang Stadium. There's going to be some temporary stands put in, most notably behind the north end. Obviously, that's the main supporter section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, there are stadiums here. I'm the only one that's got a stadium already built.
I have a plan.
So, yeah.
The other part of it is that the city governments have to own the stadium. This is something that Jumbo Hyundai Motors came up against recently when they wanted to replace all the seats with green seats, and the government of Jeonju said, no, thank you, you can't do that. So things like that do exist here. So, Paul, you're kind of in a good position here already having a stadium made. And which stadium is that you'll be playing in? The north end?
Goyang Stadium. Yeah, Goyang Stadium up near Daehwadong, the very end of Line 3, situated quite conveniently just outside that particular subway station. It's good. It's a good location. It's outside of Seoul, obviously, but not too far. But Goyang, as I said earlier, does have quite a large population for a satellite city of around 1 million people. So that's why I chose it. I wanted to be able to find a stadium and not have to worry about building, so that the club could start in other aspects like marketing and recruitment before having to worry about a stadium being built. So that's why I chose that one.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to put myself on the clock here because we only gave ourselves a few minutes for this. And allow me to tell you all about Waesorak Stadium. Located near Yangyang International Airport, which will serve as the hub for international travelers, Waesorak Stadium is going to be built directly into a mountain in the heart of Sokcho. There are a few outcroppings that overlook the sea, and we're going to dig that out, and we're going to put our stadium right into there. It's going to be about a 12,000 capacity stadium, and again, there are these little mountains near the shoreline, and we're going to carve that out. And the north end of this stadium, just for you, Paul, the north end of this stadium is going to be sheer rock face with a scoreboard carved into it and a few select VIP seats for our most important visitors and guests that day to sit. Otherwise, it's going to be sheer rock face to intimidate those that think they can pick up a win in Sokcho. The southern side is... I'm sorry, I said that was the north end. The north end is going to be the supporter section. The south end is going to be the rock face because the north end should be the supporter section. That'll be safe standing with a few rows of seats behind it for those that, want to create an atmosphere, but also might need to sit down every now and again. The south end of the stadium, rather, will be pure rock face with VIP seating. East will be a low stand, very similar to Sogwipo Stadium down in Jeju, where there's a little bit of a concourse over the top, so you can walk along there, get a few concessions, watch the game from up there for a little bit. There will be some standing tables, so you can stop and enjoy your concession purchases there for a little bit while still watching the game. And the west will be the grandstand. This will be where we have multiple rows of stadium seating, and there will be a little section built in for the away support there. But that west side, this is where sitting in the upper deck is going to be really nice, because from the camera angle and for those sitting in the supposedly bad seats all the way up towards the top, you'll be able to look out over the ocean while you take in the game. So the east side is staying low so that the west side can see out into the ocean while watching the game and also taking in that nice, cool mountain air. This is also a lovely thing to have because the march to the stadium will be in true Korean hiking fashion. It'll be straight up a mountain, super intense, not for the faint of heart, but there will also be a fun little trolley for families and others to take should they want to do so. And the location, it's within walking distance of the bus terminal, and it's within walking distance of Sokcho Beach. So if you're in the city for the weekend and thinking, I don't know what to do, well, your evenings can be taken up with Sokcho City. So
Sounds lovely.
the visuals for that are better. I'll put those out on social soon, but I don't think Matthew Binns has been drinking from a cup this entire time, as his video would suggest.
Clint has also picked up on that on YouTube. It's actually a ventriloquist act. I'm doing this whole. I'm that confident in my pitch. I can do it while drinking a glass of water.
That's true. So that is
speaking of my pitch, then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's slightly different to yours when it comes to stadiums, Ryan, because you like to destroy the environment and destroy Korea's natural, beautiful mountains. I actually want to save the environment with my stadium. So, as alluded to in my initial pitch, the stadium will be built by the city in its own smart image, a 10,000 football-specific stadium named the Ministry of Football. Powered predominantly by renewable energy. It will be the first eco-friendly stadium in the league and will pioneer a new way forward to those still getting an easy ride in half-empty World Cup stadiums. All four sides shall be covered, with away fans getting the respect that teams like Incheon United refuse to afford. Solar panels will be placed on the roof to help generate energy on match day, with energy gathered during non-match days being used to help provide power to the surrounding buildings and neighbourhood. And that's a hat tip to the Taiwan National Stadium, where I got that idea from. There will be parking around the stadium with spaces near the ground allotted for electric or hybrid car charging stations, in addition to regular matchday shuttle buses to the ground in similar style to John Buck's 1994 buses. Bus tickets will be comparable to a standard bus ticket. However, wear a team shirt or show a season card and you can ride for free. Given the stadium's smaller size, there won't be any large amenities at the stadium, but not like the IMAX cinema at Seoul or the wedding halls at Suwon or the sauna at Jeonju. I've never been in, but they've got a sauna at Jeonju World Cup Stadium. Side note, anyway, they're not there. But it's going to be local businesses and food trucks who will be implored to set up. They'll sign a season-long contract if they are to be stationed as part of the stadium. There'll also be a screen which we're going to put out there for away games, so those who can't travel can come to the stadium and enjoy watching the match, when the team's not in town. Ideally, the stadium will be based on an easy accessible site in the city centre. However, this is where there is a slight catch. The closest train station to Sejong is Osang Station, which is north of the city, halfway between Sejong City and Cheongju International Airport, which is an airport we'll be using for the Champions League someday, no doubt, but probably not straight away. Presently, there is a discussion to build a KTX station in Sejong to make it more accessible to government officials, with more administrative bureaus moving there in due course, plus demand from Daejeon residents who commute in. There are calls for one, yet they do face a backlash from North and South Chungcheong province, who they both believe the growth should be balanced in the region. So what I'd suggest that a brand new K-League team could be the clincher to get everybody on board the KTX station push, and that's why Sejong needs a football team.
There you go. I love the eco-friendly aspects of this. You did also bring up something that I forgot to mention, which is that the seating in Sokcho City's new stadium all of the seats are going to be coming from previously used stadiums. So the Olympics happened near Sokcho. So all of those stands that are no longer being used, we're going to take those, and that's what we're going to build most of the stadium with. So we will be reusing a lot of things, and we might also take some of the seats from Gwangju and Daegu World Cup stadiums, these oversized stadiums that don't really need those seats, and then we can take those, and they're already in like 30 different colors, so we can spell out Sokcho City the way that we want to in the stands. But yes, that's one aspect that I forgot to mention about my stadium plans there. And again, I wish that we could have some of the visuals in there for that. But I like it. So up next, we have our marketing plan, which we've all gotten into a little bit. But Paul, I'm going to let you dive into this first. We're just going to keep this same order. And your stadium plans, we're using an existing one, which is smart. On the note of stadium plans, actually, they'll play into my marketing. So never mind. I'm going to stop interrupting myself, and I'm going to let Paul go.
Well, all I've got here is that why can't marketing be an arm of sales?
That's it?
Why can't it be?
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. But I suppose I'm not sure if this comes under marketing or not, but I want to have an app that you use. You have an account. So when you want to order beers during the game, for instance, you have your membership number, and there's a certain part of the app for each stand that you sit on. So the north end, if you're a north ender, then you're on the north stand, and it knows your seat number, it knows your credit card details, and if you want to order a beer, you press it, and then it comes. And you can accumulate points over the course of the season, and if you order a certain amount of concessions, then you earn points and can earn freebies at the end, or membership into the Young Sheep Club for the young supporters. The Little Lambs,
the Little Lambs, yeah.
Little Lambs.
Club, yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. I think, build it and they will come.
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you about some of the plans that we have. So first and foremost, we're going to get some local students involved, and that does mean, and I believe that you gentlemen will be able to hear this, that means that one of the drum lines that you hear so often at school assemblies, yeah, we're getting these kids in there. They're these massive drums that they have at a lot of schools here. Yeah! And this is what's going to welcome out the players every single time. Live performances from kids in school, just killing it.
Sounds good.
Anyway, I will leave some of that for the online presentation that I'm putting together as well. But I'm so tired of these halftime songs that come out. And I know everybody loves to have their cell phone up and they love to sing along, but there's no atmosphere there. It's just so dead. And it also doesn't really get the supporters going. So with this, we're going to have these massive drums right at the front of the supporters section. We're going to have local students who get in for free. They get their season tickets for free by being part of this atmosphere. We're going to get them in, and we're going to get them involved, and we're going to have the most unique and the most intense drum section in K-League. It's going to be great. And we also are going to partner up with Gangneung City FC. They already have City in there. So we're going to be supporting local football in that way. The first season will have a ground share, so we will be playing in Gangneung Stadium, sharing that with a couple of different teams there. And diehard fans are also going to have a lot of football to watch because Sokcho City is going to play there one week, and then when they're not there, Gangneung City is going to play there. So it won't be every other week necessarily, but there will always be live football to watch in the region because of our partnership with Gangneung City. And we're also going to work very closely with the tourism board of Sokcho and Gangwon. Staying in a hotel near the beach? Well, then you get a free drink of choice upon entry. And if you booked a ferry trip into town, well, then you have been entered into a contest to win a free Sokcho City kit if you just show up to the game. All sorts of things to get people visiting the town into the stadium, get them to experience the city in a new way, and all sorts of ways to get the folks that live there as part of this club as well, because this will be a citizen-focused club, mainly because of that amazing drum line. But that is the marketing scheme for us thus far. Matthew, what you got?
Nothing really too out of the ordinary. I kept it quite simple here. I mean, the club really should sell itself with its ethos and its image. But we'll talk about the product on the pitch shortly. We can at least discuss the price. I think as a team that will have to start in K2 initially, ticket prices will be kept as such. So most adult K-League matches cost 10,000 won. With kids at 6,000 to 8,000. So it seems only natural that we're going to match that at the beginning. Season tickets will be affordable, with the first season of the club seeing them at the very fair rate of 60,000 won, matching Suwon FC. Season tickets may have to increase slightly over time, particularly as we reach the giddy heights of ACL in 5 years. But those renewing tickets each year will be discounted by 20% of the new price. So you get a season ticket early and you keep making those savings. I'll say each season ticket holder will also be able to bring in, they have 5 free match tickets throughout the season, which they can give to friends and family. And I'd also say when they buy single match tickets, they can also purchase match tickets at a discount. I'd also say I steal one more thing from Seoul, the only good thing that FC Seoul do, and that is the fan cafe and the shop. I think that is a great idea at FC Seoul. The shop is open during the week as well. We'd copy that as well. We'd have a shop that is accessible 7 days a week, and a nice little Sejong fan cafe where you can come in and enjoy a Sejong Americano.
Great. Love it. Yeah, definitely. I think all clubs should have that, and that's a good point to make sure that we do have one of those. So that's a little bit of the marketing pitch, and up next we're going to get into the brass tacks of things. We're going to become the directors of football for these clubs, but first we're going to take a really quick break. And we've got some Taiwan Premier League on in 18 minutes, so unless we've had anything come through on social, I say we just keep going with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really. Oh, Clint has said that my pitch is the Forest Green Rovers of Korean football, which, well, yeah, I'll take that. Well, no, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
All right, yeah. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome back to the K-League United podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Walters, joined by Paul Neat.
Hello.
And Matthew Binns.
Hello.
So this week for the live stream, we're using Google Meet instead of Zoom because Zoom has it has a limit on how long you can talk to each other. But you guys have been frozen in some very interesting positions on my video feed this time. So we'll see how this goes. So hopefully that's at least a little bit entertaining for the folks watching in. But if you're just joining us on the live stream or on Football Nation Radio down in Australia as it's airing down there, we are building our own K-League clubs. We have named the city. We've gone over a little bit of the marketing scheme, and we've talked about the stadiums that 2 of us are going to build, and Paul is going to use a stadium that's already there, which
I'm going to hijack it, yeah.
Which would probably be an easier pitch, but hey, I want a view of the beach from the stadium. Won't give up on that. But anyway, up next, we're going to be talking about the team philosophy. We're going to hire a manager, and then we've got the transfer window, gentlemen. So up first, though, we're going to go over our team philosophy and a managerial hire. So, Paul, we're going to just stick in the same order here. You get to go first with Goyang North End.
Sure. William Siddell and his Preston North End side won the first championships without losing a single match and acquired the name the Invincibles. Well, we'll be the Invincibles because we are obviously the Rams or sheep. But Preston North End did that by fielding a 2-3-5 formation, 2 fullbacks, 3 halfbacks, and 5 forwards. So that's the formation that I want. Goyang North End. Going back to basics. We're going back to the very, very beginning of the beautiful game, and it's going to be a 2-3-5.
The old 2-3-5, as it would be. This is just a technical issue, but your mic is being all sorts of fun.
Mine?
Yep.
Yeah, it's picking up a bit of feedback on it.
Is it?
Yeah.
How about now?
You might be all right for now.
Might be all right for now.
Don't move. Like I've not been doing him. Like I've not been doing it most of this stream. Do not move.
Yeah, I don't. Whew, Google Meet, you are not selling yourself too hard here.
Google Meet. Speaking of meat, on all 4 corners of the ground of my stadium, there's going to be lamb skewer restaurants.
I'm gonna have to stop you, Paul. It's
I love that idea, but you're gonna have to. I think you have to unplug your mic and plug it back in there. Oh, just don't touch that cord.
I'll start again.
Sorry about that. It's
We need like a little technical issues thing to pop up on the screen.
We have H Kim on YouTube saying hi. So,
hello.
Hello.
Paul, are you still there? Did we lose Paul?
We may have lost it. I can't tell because it's also frozen. So he might actually not even be in the room anymore.
Oh boy.
Hello.
Oh,
okay.
Are you still there?
Well,
I think so.
Recording podcasts in the time of Corona. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon we'll be able to do this in person again, and then we won't have these kind of issues. But welcome back, Paul. You were saying.
Thank you very much.
You were saying about meat.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be the Invincibles, not the Invincibles. But I quite like the idea that Daegu have got, where they've got some barbecue restaurants kind of built into the stadium, and obviously the Goyang Stadium's already built, but there's still, I think, plenty of scope to build some lamb skewer restaurants in all four corners of the stadium. That's I think that the final piece that stadium needs is lamb skewer restaurants. Yankochi.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, there we go. But anyway, 2-3-5. That's my formation.
2-3-5, and who's your manager?
Well, there's a theme when it comes to personnel. Anybody who's got Go or Yang in their name. So, Go Jong-soo is the manager.
Okay. I wonder who your marquee player signing's going to be.
Well, just you wait.
We'll just have to see. All right, so the team philosophy for Sokcho City, well, it's a bit of a cliche, but in that first press conference, we're going to come in and we're going to say that we're going to be playing a high-pressing, attacking football style. But really, though, we're going to play high-pressing because I think that's the way that you should play, and it's more fun. And one of the reasons that we're going to do that is because, as we've talked about in so many different podcasts and so many different episodes of the show, the work rate of Korean footballers here is just really tremendously high, and I think it's time that as a team we start using that to play smarter and not harder. We're going to have all of that running more focused than it is for a lot of teams here, and we're going to have that be part of a high press, and it's going to be a very well-defined system. So the main thing here is that we need to have a system in place so that players can be plugged and played, and if there's an injury, then we can have a player that will know their spot in the system. And I think that's something that we don't necessarily see a ton here in K-League, is a well-defined system where players know their role when they're playing in specific spots. So that's the big thing of the philosophy, is that it needs to be high pressing and it needs to be a system that's organized with clear-cut goals and clear-cut roles for everybody involved there. And to get this done, we're going to bring in Arthur Papas, who is currently Ange Postecoglou's assistant manager at Yokohama F. Marinos. He knows the CFG system and has helped create a championship-winning side in Japan. He also knows Asian football extremely well, having been part of the Australia U17 team, Newcastle Jets, the India U23 team, and again is currently with Yokohama F. Marinos. His resume is much longer than that, but I didn't have time and didn't want to rattle all of it off. But this is a man that has done a lot already, and I think it's time for him to take ownership over his own club. And I think that Sokcho City is going to be the club for him to do it. So that is the philosophy, and that is the manager for us. Matthew, what you got?
Well, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Most K-League sides in the past have tended to copy the recent trends in Europe, like in 2017, where everybody had a Conte 3-4-3 or Conte had a Sturgeon 1-3-4-3. I never know which one came first, to be honest. But that's a talk for another pod. But my point is, there is a lack of creativity in this league, I think, when it comes to tactics. And I'm just not really going to do anything to stop that. I'm going to look over to Gangwon, and I do enjoy the fast attacking Byung-soo ball that is being employed by Kim Byung-soo at the moment. And I look at that team and I think there is hope. Now, Kim is yet to deliver on his potential, really, with Gangwon, but the signs are there for a promising manager. He would naturally be approached with a lucrative offer at first, but I think he'd probably refuse. I'm not getting ahead of myself. But we'd still continue to build the club with a philosophy to play attractive attacking football, and we'd keep tabs on Kim and other managers who would fit the bill. Kind of like what Man City did when they got Pep Guardiola. They built the club ethos just to lure Pep Guardiola over in the end, and that's what we're going to be doing here, but on a far, far smaller scale. Therefore, our first manager will be Seoul Elan's Chung Dong-young. Yes, I know he's not managed a game for Seoul Elan yet, but we have predicted them fifth, so I'm going to say he's going to do a fantastic season because our predictions have never been wrong.
Never.
So a word from pre-season at Seoul is that everything's going quite well, and Chung is also a manager who likes to develop young talent after his successful stint in charge of the South Korean youth sides, and he'd be an ideal fit with our desire to develop our own players. Furthermore, it also allowed me to take from the capital, which is all about my pitch. To make our footballing philosophy, our director of football and their team will be made up of industry and coaching talents from inside and outside of Korea to ensure a wider vision is developed and that transfers are made to match a style of play, regardless of who's in charge. We may even bring in the K-League coach as an initial consultant just to get us off the ground. A similar ethos would be employed among the coaching staff with an international team on the touchline. Once determined, the desired formation and philosophy of football will be taught at youth levels with the vision to bring these players through into the first team squad over the course of 3 to 5 seasons. Side note, we will also establish youth teams. Just putting that there.
Yeah, youth teams, definitely something that I think all of these clubs should be focused on, and that's where our partnership with Gangneung City comes in. That's going to be more of a youth team for us that we're going to be using there. So just taking all of your ideas and piggybacking and stealing them, it's the city way, Bins. I shouldn't have tied it into city. This makes me feel like the Empire. Anyway, I wanted it to be Sokcho 1963, but I'm too far in now. I'm too far in.
Yeah, you've gone into the city football group rabbit hole and not coming out for a while.
Can't do it. I've been saying that they should be here for years, so I had to finally put my money their money where my mouth is. Anyway, all right. So it's the transfer window. Your team exists, and we're going to get a few signings here. I've limited myself to 2. I got a marquee signing and then a signing with potential is how we worded it, or a smart signing for your team, Matthew. Paul, you're up first here. Who do you have in your first transfer window?
Well, like I said earlier, there's a theme. Anybody who's got Go or Yang in their name or other sheep-related syllables, let's just say. So I've gone with Yang Hanbin, Go Yohan, Yang Donghyun, and my marquee foreign signing. Now, I have to explain that this will be funded by, well, the meat used in all the restaurants is Welsh lamb, okay? So we're going to have to try and strike a deal with the company who kind of makes and distributes Welsh lamb. We're going to sign Aaron Ramsey.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, bold. It's bold.
Very bold, yeah. I think once the Welsh government and whatnot help with that financially, and we can distribute Welsh lamb into Asia, then likewise, Goyang North End can also tap into Asia.
And I think once you sell him on the idea that he's coming over because he has Ram in his name, how could he not sign up?
Absolutely.
I mean,
exactly, yeah.
That's players are always talking about knowing that a club wants them. There's just no sign bigger than that.
Well, you have clubs like Bilbao and Sociedad that like to sign Basque players. Well, I like to sign players that have got Go or Yang or Ram in their name. So anyone called Ramsbottom, if you can play football, let me know. Send us a CV. We'll have a look.
I think if the club's successful and in just a few years' time, there's just going to be so many kids here being named Yang something or Go something. Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Okay, so my marquee signing is a player that I'm not really that hot on them, but I'll explain this. I wanted my marquee signing to be Win Kong Hai, but with him being at the stage of his career that he's at right now, I don't think K2 is a good move for him. So I've shelved my Vietnamese international until my smart signing, and my marquee signing is going to be bringing home Lee Sung-woo. It's time for him to own up to the fact that things have not worked out abroad. He's still just 22 years old, and honestly, even though he is that young, he's in desperate need of a resurrection of his career, and more importantly, he's in desperate need of some game time. It's time for him to prove that all the hype was warranted, and it's time for him to own this market. He could come here, he could be a megastar within the league immediately, and he'll sell some kits. He'll put people in the stadium. He will be one of the many reasons that people want to come to Sokcho for the weekend, to travel up here, to see him play a game and then hike Saraksan the next day. Sign me up for that. You also get to chill at the beach afterwards. But Korean International, I think he would be a really good signing here, and I think that he does need the minutes, and I think coming to K-League would be really good for him. The signing with potential, or the smart signing, is Nguyen Tien Linh for me. He's a Vietnam national team striker, currently playing with Bicamax Bindong, and he's just 22 years old. And at this point, I think he kind of needs a move abroad to further his career. He won the 2018 Suzuki Cup and the 2019 Southeast Asian Games with Vietnam. He was a part of their U23 squad in January. And I think if those two youngins are paired up top, I think that would be some really exciting football to watch. And we could finally get a Vietnamese national team player actually playing. And fun fact, Yang International Airport does do charter flights to Hanoi. So could get some
Which
Vietnamese.
airport?
Yang International Airport.
Yang.
Yeah.
That's mine now.
There's your sponsor, Paul. There's your sponsor.
There you go. Yang International Airport sponsor. No, actually, Daniel Croydon, our very own Daniel Croydon, has just had a great point on Facebook that I should also sign players called you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Because obviously,
play.
sheep, you. So that's, I could. That opens up the spectrum now to 3 surnames.
You have to get another scout at this rate, Paul.
Just not Kim or Lee. So you're fine. You can keep those surnames, and I will keep Kim and Lee. All right, Matthew. It's time for you to have your first transfer window. Who you got coming in?
Okay, so we're Sejong Citizen and we're taking from the capital. Therefore, there is only one midfielder we can have our eyes on, Ju Sejong of FC Seoul fame. The 29-year-old Seoul midfielder is a podcast favourite, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And would be the ideal captain for a team such as ours, having won both the K-League 2 and K-League 1, insert asterisk here, with Assam Mugunghwa and FC Seoul respectively, not to mention game time in the ACL. Ju Sejong would have the ideal experience to lead a newly founded team. With our establishment date set to be 2021, we'll also be looking to anoint him with the number 21 to keep in line with the branding, Sejong 21. Perfect. We're also going to be looking at young Korean talent abroad that may be in need of some game time. Now, like you thought of at Lee Sung-woo, you've gone quite big. I've gone a little closer to home, but I've gone for an inquiry to FC Tokyo to bring back Na Sang-ho. He made 25 appearances last season in the J-League. And one appearance for the FC Tokyo Under-23s, yet he only scored 2 league goals. However, his time at Gwangju saw him tear the K2 apart, scoring 16 goals in 31 league games. He's only 23, and I'm sure FC Tokyo probably do have the longer term in mind with him, but he could get regular minutes at our club for perhaps a season or two to get us up to the top flight. As for our foreign marquee signing, well, depends if we need one. I have been planning this part of the podcast as we've been doing it. So I have gone for one that might cost a fair chunk of change, but I would like to take Sydney FC striker Adam Lafondra.
Okay.
Played all 4 professional tiers of the English football pyramid, and he's been the top scorer at Sydney FC. He's 33 with a wealth of football experience, and might be lured to a new challenge. So I'd have no doubt he'd thrive at Sejong Citizen and in the K-League. His teammate Milos Ninkovic is also worth inquiring about while we're down there. He's 35 and was left out of Sydney's ACL squad. He is a bit of a fan favourite, but again, new challenge. He might, he'd offer that perfect foil for Ju Sejong, because Ju Sejong would be sat just behind him in the midfield. For the most part, though, we're going to use the city's links with Korea University to provide an opportunity to their U-League side talent. Now, Korea University just has a campus in Sejong, and the football team at Korea University don't play there, but we can bring them here, or at least offer them some, contracts. They have brought through a number of top talents in recent years. This includes EJ Sung, Son Bong-kun, and Cho Young-uk, to name just a few. So I would like to exploit the Korea University links as well to get as much young talent into this squad.
Not Yonsei.
No.
It's a little bit of a rivalry that we can go into it another time. So we went just a little bit long in planning our teams here. So I'm going to say, if we had any mailbag questions come in, I think we should save those for next week.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have one, which I'll keep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll put those into next week. And again, all of these teams, we're gonna organize this. We're gonna put together. I'll say we'll do a Twitter thread. Each one of us will have a thread on our personal account where we outline all of these things. We'll have this out before the podcast is out. We'll have this out this week, and we'll each put something out there, and then we'll have it on the main account, and then we'll have a vote, because we've been doing a lot of votes lately, and we're going to have you fine folks decide which of these clubs you think should come into a virtual existence. We'll have them exist in Football Manager 20 and PES 20. So we're going to put them into the virtual world and see how they do. I'm tempted to put all 3 in just because I think it'd be fun, but there can only be one. It's Highlander style, and the cat is awake and coming towards me. Oh boy. Hey, buddy. Okay. So if my camera goes off, that's why. Anyway. Paul, you want to tell folks what they can get if they sign up on Patreon?
No. I have lost my tab. Gone.
I can tell you that if you sign up for Patreon, then you will be part of this live stream each week where we're going to have the podcast once it's back into its normal form. We also have some exclusive editorial pieces such as Koreans overseas. So a lot of the folks that we've been talking about that we might want to sign for these teams, those have come from George Slade's series on Koreans overseas. There was a new one released today, actually. And once the season is up and running, which apparently might be getting closer, we hope, we will have full Mix Zone interviews and podcast extras on there as well. Tiers start as low as $1, but you can check out all of that on patreon.com/K-League United. And if you would like to listen to this live, you can do so every Thursday on Football Nation Radio. And we've decided that because we had so many giveaways for the kit contest, and congratulations to Suwon for winning that, by the way. It was a lovely Nike kit with red on one sleeve, blue on the other. It was really nice, a white kit. Anyway, we're not going to be doing a kit giveaway this month, also because we're almost out of April, but the May kit giveaway, which you can start getting in on now, will be for Seoul Eland. Love them or hate them, their kits are always fantastic. So we're going to be having a giveaway for them starting next month. But as I said, the Taiwan Premier League has kicked off. So gentlemen, I wish you luck. I hope you lose, and I hope that Gangwon eventually moves away so Sokcho City can come in. But good stuff. I really enjoyed those, and we'll see. We'll see who wins.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back next week, potentially talking about K-League, the return of K-League. So we hope to see you then. And again, thank you so much for watching.
Okay. And